What's going on, y'all? Chuck Nunface here. We're going to take a look at this one right here. This is a Holt Bladeworks Morpheus right there. So a pretty highly sought after knife, pretty well regarded knife in the knife community and everything else. And so we're just going to take a quick look at it. This is on loan from a friend, my friend Tim, who let me borrow this. Along with another knife that I'll probably take a look at later. So it's not going to be a full review. I haven't really carried this a whole lot, but I did want to kind of get it on film and, just take a look at this for a little while here because it is really quite exceptional quality. But before we talk about it a little bit, let's go into the specs. We are looking at a 1, 2, 3, and about a 3 1/4, a little less than 3 1/4 inch blade with about just over 3 inches of cutting edge. It is a liner lock, or in this case, more accurately, way to describe it would be a tab lock. You'll see that hidden hardware. There's a little tab that's going to lock that blade in place. Titanium bar with a steel lock bar insert. And it actually looks like it even has a little bit of an adjustment, so you can adjust the detent if you were to take this apart and want to make some changes. So when you get the box, it does come, or when you get the knife, it does come with this packaging right here. And within it, there's of course a sticker. And you get this little card right here. So that 0.035 hex wrench is the only tool needed to adjust the detent system. So counterclockwise is a stiffer flip, and a clockwise is a softer flip. All right, so that's what you would do there. Now, additionally, I believe this is an NFC card. I could not get it to work. I turned on the NFC on my phone and I could not get it to pick anything up. So I'm not 100% sure how to do that, but I would imagine the specs on this knife are on that. And I don't know specifically, what the knife itself is, what steel it's made out of. So it could be M390, it could be RWL34, it could be S30V, it could be S45. I have no idea what it is. And so this is actually the little tool that you would use when you take it apart and you'd adjust that detent system in there. Okay, so you would do that. I'm not going to do that. Like I say, it's not my knife. I think it's fine the way it is. It doesn't really need to be tuned, but it certainly is something that you could do if you were so inclined to do so. So we'll do a couple size comparisons on this one as well. Let's see, kind of some standard fare. There it is against a Ontario Rat number 1, so it's going to be significantly smaller than the Rat 1. And let's see, we can do it against a Spyderco Para 2. So that's what you're looking at with the Para 2 right there. So it's going to be smaller than both of those. Spyderco Para 3, much closer in size to the Para 3 than the Para 2. In fact, it's pretty darn close. A little longer in blade, about the same handle size as the Para 3. They're a buck 110, significantly smaller and lighter than a buck 110, goes without saying. And let's see, we also brought a Grimsmo Norseman. This knife does definitely remind me of the other Grimsmo, the Grimsmo Rask, and I'll kind of talk about that a little bit here. And then lastly, we'll look at, another knife that's kind of, I would say, in the same category of high quality, small batch production knives. So I think you got three pretty good examples right there of top tier makers doing things on a small basis, small shop basis, and producing some very high quality stuff. So as you can see here, it's got this beautiful, I like purple, some people don't. I think that milling is really great on there. I think that purple anodizing is really great on there. So it's got the flat mill here, and then that nice pattern all throughout there. Oh, it looks like we do have some Holt Bladeworks Morpheus number 1064. So I don't know if they've retired this model or not, but you've got the action. Nice thumb. Does it say right there? Oh, it's M390. It's right there. Boom. We all figured it out together. So this one is M390. It looks like it rides on internal stop pins. I know it's bearings in there. I don't know how they do the bearings, if they use skiffs or if they make their own. I don't know. But it has got a fantastic action, whether you light switch it or push button it. Very positive. As far as ergos go, Feels great in the hand. It is a little small for me. And, you know, if you follow me, you know that I prefer kind of a bigger knife. You know, that's the Koenig Arius. You know, I think it's just a little bit, it's probably around the same size as the Mini Arius. I couldn't say for sure. I've never handled a Mini Arius. There it is with the Grimsmo Norseman. It reminds me a lot of the Rask. Now, as you can see, the Norseman is about the same thickness as the Rask. This is going to be significantly thicker. That's just the nature of how it's manufactured. So you can see it's quite a bit thicker. And as far as blade stock goes, blade stock is pretty similar, I would say. It's got a nice taper on there, nice distal taper, nice flat grind. You can tell it's just going to be a really nice cutter. Not cheap though. I don't know the exact price on these, but I think if you were to get a Morpheus, you could expect to pay at least $900. It's probably going to be closer to the range of well over $1,000, depending on the options that you get and everything else. And like I say, I don't know the run that this one was done, what run it was. Obviously, we know now that it's M390, but I don't know, you know, specifically, you know, what run it was. And how much this one would actually cost, but that's all right. You can just kind of follow them on Instagram or check out their webpage and kind of get an idea of what the cost would be. So it's going to be pretty thin behind the edge too, and that nice flat grind. Beautiful stone washing, really nice stone washing. I would say it's actually really similar. Well, actually, it's kind of more like a Shirogorov stone washing. Actually, hold on a second. I think I've got a Shiro handy. Yeah, there we go. Shiro's going to be more matte. It definitely reminds me of something. I'm not sure, but the Shirogorov is going to be more matte finish. Is it the Arius? No, I don't know. It reminds me, the stone washing definitely reminds me of another knife that I've handled recently, but I can't think of what it is off the top of my head. But yeah, and then that closing action. This is where it really reminds me of the Rask. Is on the close. It almost seems like there's a magnet in there. The blade completely disappears in the handles, just like the Rask does. And it almost seems like there is a magnet that just pulls it in and it doesn't go anywhere. There's no bounce, which the Rask didn't have either. Now, of course, the Norseman is kind of known for that. It does have that little rebound. Of course, it's not going to do it now. There we go. I kind of have to make it do it. But it does have that bounce. There's none of that with this. Just boop, drop shut. Super, super nice. So yeah, definitely a really high-end piece. Tim, thanks for letting me check this out, along with the other knife that you sent along as well. It's definitely something that, you know, I've never handled a Holt. Like I say, this one's a little small for me. I would probably go for the Spectre if they're still making that. That's a little bigger, a little bit more my style, but wow. Just very high quality. There's nothing wrong with this at all. You know, definitely a knife that, you know, if you're looking for something that's high end, that's American made, that's small batch production, you know, I mean, you can call these custom. It all just kind of depends on how you're going to define custom and things like that. You know, this is definitely in, you know, that top tier of small, I like to call them small production makers. You know, the Koenigs, the Grimsmos, you know, there's Shirogorov, there's others as well that you could definitely put in that category as well. And this is definitely top tier stuff. So in any case, if you haven't done so already, I certainly would appreciate if you click that little subscribe button. It definitely helps out the channel. Leave a comment. More comments equal, you know, it helps the algorithm. Go ahead and hit that like button. I certainly would appreciate that as well. Give me a follow on Instagram at Chuck_Nunface if you're not doing so already. And stay tuned for the next one.